the mindset of students who aim to be great in life. But with these, I believe I'm able to convince you that examination malpractice, parents and students are not to blame. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's now hear the last speaker on the proposal side. Put your hands together for him.
The chairman, the moderator, the panel of judges, the artful timekeeper, co-debaters, and my audience. I am Ekome Michael and I'm here to propose the motion which states examination malpractice, parents and students to blame. Firstly, low scale of preference. Students today no longer set their priorities right. Instead, they consider irrelevant issues before considering their academics important. For instance, a student who has decided to stay in front of the television screen for 5 to 6 hours. Then when he or she decides to study his book, he only stares at this book for 15 minutes. Not even to read, but to study this book for 15 minutes and is satisfied that yes, I have read. But when a question is being asked from this book, he becomes deaf and dumb to answer. Secondly, moral standard. There is a great decline in the moral standard of students today. And this has to do with the principle of right and wrong behaviors of students towards education. If the moral standard of a student is high, he could get a high level of discipline into his studies. But if the moral standard of a student is low, he could get little or no efforts and discipline into his studies. On the other hand, children brought up a good home will bring back fantastic certificates without defrauding anyone. Charity, they say, begins at home. Parents today have failed to inculcate the right moral values into the children. In addition, abstinence. Students today have developed the attitude of skipping classes. It has been proved that they do this because they hate the subject and sometimes they hate the teachers. Forgetting that examinations will be set and they have no options but to face the subjects which they don't like. And this shows that such students have the mindset of indulging in examination malpractice. Furthermore, inducements. Parents today now induce teachers to give the children undue assistance during an examination. If students are encouraged to study hard, knowing that no one will assist them during an examination, definitely they will be trained into competent and productive citizens of the society. If parents could stop encouraging their children to pay for special examination centers, our society will be sanitized. If parents could stop taking advantage over poorly paid teachers, again, our society will be sanitized. Lastly, the reliance on malpractice. Students today rely entirely on malpractice. They could have been married to their books and other relevant materials, but no. Why should I read the same when experts might believe that exhibits on the flyers they make me pass? Surely my grades overflow. Surely greedy and unscrupulous supervisors they make me pass. I believe with these magnificent points I have convinced you that examination malpractice, parents and students to blame. Thank you.
The program is still Schools Debates, reaching you on RSTV Port Harcourt. And today, we are featuring students from Priston International School, located at number 148 Shell Location Road, Oyigbo. The children are talking on the topic, examination malpractice, parents and students to blame. Let's now hear the third speaker on the opposing side. Put your hands together for
Examination malpractice, parents and students to blame. I oppose. First, I would like to recognize the chairman, the moderators, the panel of judges, our curator and keeper, my co-debaters, and my wonderful audience. I am Chisomaga Judge. I'm standing boldly before you to oppose the motion which states examination malpractice, parents and students to blame. Examination malpractice has led to a steady decline in the standard of education today. It is a continuous prevalent situation that has compelled many experts to ask, who is responsible for this heinous act? This heinous act is known as examination malpractice. The following are major perpetrators of this evil. Cheap popularity. In an attempt to win cheap population and popularity, the school proprietors aid and abet examination malpractice. They steadily turn their schools to go-get centers where miracles happen. They strive to ensure that they record tremendous success by indulging themselves in examination malpractice. Teachers greed. Teachers today are so greedy that they are not content with their salaries. They indulge in examination malpractice by relegating their dignity and going on in collaboration with the school supervisors to write down the answer of the waiting on the board for students who cannot even spell. Unskilled teachers. There's an adage that says a lion cannot give birth to a sheep. Instead, a lion begets a lion and a sheep begets a sheep. This also implies with a teacher. A teacher who is a product of examination malpractice cannot produce a fraud-free society. Instead, a teacher who is a product of examination malpractice would end up producing malpractice. And a teacher who is a product of mago-mago will end up producing mango-mango. The school proprietors, in an attempt to maximize profits, they go for cheap labor. They employ the services of unskilled teachers, unqualified teachers, half-baked teachers, and even secondary school leavers. Due to their half-baked, they will end up producing half-baked graduates whose only means of escape is examination or practice. Teachers in discipline. My audience, let me ask, in this school, who are the parents of these students? The obvious answer is the teachers. These teachers have failed to nurture these students academically, morally, socially, and otherwise. What is obtainable today? A teacher who is supposed to be the parents of the students would end up with an unhealthy relationship with them. This relationship will make the student to lack focus and lack concentration in their studies. They will be thinking of irrelevant things and the affairs he or she has with the teachers, such as how I love you, how I miss you, how I wish you're close to me, how I wish I can hug you. Their attitude is suddenly changed and they'll start parading themselves in front of the male teachers. My audience, at end, this attitude will make the students to indulge themselves in examination or practice. Erroneous assimilation. Our society today is erroneously assimilated due to this heinous act. No one find any evil in this evil we call examination or practice. With this undefeatable point, I strongly believe that the school proprietors and the teachers should be blamed instead. Thank you.
Alright, thank you very much. That was splendid if you ask me. The program is still Schools Debates, reaching you on RSTV Port Harcourt. And today we have wonderful children from Priston International School, number 148 Shell Location Road, Oyigbo, here in River State. And the topic is still examination malpractice, parents and students to blame. We'll now take the summaries from those proposing this topic. Put your hands together for that.
Duly observed. I am highly delighted to stand in your presence once more to strongly assert that parents and students are responsible for examination malpractice. However, my opponents have forgotten that the decision to abstain from examination malpractice lays on the hands of students who know the rights to say yes and no to examination malpractice. Examination malpractice originated from the parents and the students. If parents were not luring teachers to aid their children, and if parents were not forcefully skipping the classes of their children, I don't think the existence of examination malpractice would be in our present days. The educational system would have been sanitized if the parents can only give their children the nets to fish and not giving them the fish. It's a biblical injunction that states, "Go to the ants, O ye sluggard, consider her ways and be wise." This implies to the students, if they can wake up from their slumber and get the net, go and fish for themselves, and instead of waiting to be fed, I don't think there will be examination malpractice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now take the summaries from those opposing the topic. A round of applause for them.
I'm honored to be in your midst this day. It is illogical to continue to insist that parents and students to blame. All I'm saying in a nutshell is that this heinous act, which has eaten deep into the bone marrows of our society today, is not only caused by parents and students alone, but by all and sundry. My candid advice to you all is to desist from this criminal act, this unlawful assistance given to students in the examination hall. This monster that bedeviled our society today, and for us to get success and for us to succeed, we will all desist from this criminal act. Thank you.
Alright, like I told you before, we've come to the end of the debate. We'll now call on the coordinator of this debate, who is the chief judge, to announce the result for us. A round of applause for her.
The proposing side got 264. And the opposing side got 288. So the winner of today's debate is the opposing side.
All right, thank you very much for that, Mrs. Okoro. On that note, I want to thank you all for being with us. Shortly, there'll be a presentation of gifts, but the person that really impressed me, I want to declare the best speaker for this debate, is this young lady at the middle. So congratulations. I'll call on the chairman, Sir Damian Okore, to help us in the presentation of cakes. All right, on that note, we want to appreciate every one of you who has made this program a success. We want to thank all of you who have contributed to the success of this program. On behalf of the management and staff of Priston International School, 148 Share Location Road, Oyigbo, and the staff and students, everyone, you've been so lovely, you've been so wonderful. Thank you very much for affording us the opportunity to do this program here. My name is Rachel Onah. Until we come your way again next week, God willing. Bye-bye.